first part of this module, we talked about mergers and acquisitions. In particular, we talked about the concept of synergies, which is the right reason for companies to engage in acquisitions, for companies to engage in M&A. Okay? We also learned how to distinguish good reasons from bad reasons, so we talked about several bad reasons why companies sometimes engage in M&A. We learned how to recognize them and how to avoid them. Okay? We also learned how to calculate synergies using net present value techniques. Calculating synergies is just another example of NPV that we also used in Module 3 to figure out the value of a new investment. Okay? Then we used our synergies to determine the pricing of M&A deal. We learned how the pricing of a deal, how much you pay for a target, is related to our valuation of synergies. We then talked about the difference between stock-financed mergers and cash-financed mergers. We learned what stock-financed means, right? And then we started talking about a very important cash-financed merger, which is a leverage buyout. Right? We talked about the specific characteristics of leverage buyouts and how leverage buyouts can increase shareholder value. Okay? That was the first part of Module 4. The second part of Module 4 looked at uncertainty. Right? We learned how to incorporate uncertainty and risk into our valuation analysis. Right? First, we talked about sensitivity analysis. We learned how to do it and how to use it. Okay? And then we talked about the fundamental idea in finance that we can use discount rates, right, to incorporate risk into valuations. Okay? We talked about the weighted average cost of capital. We talked about how to estimate it for a real-world company. Okay? And then we used the weighted average cost of capital to estimate performance, to measure performance, right? The way we did this is by estimating economic value added. We did it both for a company as a whole and for the division of a company. Okay? And finally, we talked about how to use EVA for performance evaluation, for compensation purposes, and to decide whether a division should be restructured or not.